course, at times we shared some very tense exchange, but at all times we kept a common denominator to unite Papua New Guinea of so many languages and tribes. And he was fully recognized for all the things that he had done to bring Papua New Guinea to where we are today. I'm very sad. Our families joined with the rest of the people of Papua New Guinea and the world to say how sad we are to lose this great man. But that's the journey we all have to go. In one sense of bringing this country forward. But there's more to it. Sometimes we're divided in some things, how fast and how far we can go. But at all relevant times, primarily we are great friends. So I have most great friends. Papua New Guinea is most great people. May his soul rest in peace.
Let's put our hands together for another founding father of the great nation of Papua New Guinea, Sir Julius Chan. Port Moresby is a multiracial community. We have people from all over the country and all over the world who come to work in this capital city of Papua New Guinea. Ladies and gentlemen, to officially welcome us this evening for this celebration this evening, let me take this opportunity to now invite our Honourable Governor of the National Capital District, the gateway to Papua New Guinea, Honourable Powers Papa, Governor of the National Capital District, a leader who continues to carry forward the vision of a strong, united, and thriving Papua New Guinea. Ladies and gentlemen, Honourable Powers Papa.
Honourable Prime Minister James Marape, Honourable Gary Jufa, Governor of Borough Province, Honourable Peter Siamalili Jr., Minister for Police and Regional Member for Bogotá, members of the diplomatic corps, heads of statutory bodies and government departments, leaders in the private sector. Let me acknowledge to Mr. Arthur Somare, who is here with us. Our elder statesman, Sir Derek Toka Sr., distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all our people who have come from our city to represent our people on this very auspicious occasion. City Manager and our team from the National Capital District. This evening, the 26th of February 2025, we gather here again for this very auspicious but solemn occasion. The vigil to celebrate, pay respect, remember and honor the life, the vision, the achievements, and the story of the father and architect of our nation, Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare. I welcome each and every one of you to this vigil, and I acknowledge everyone listening in, watching in via different platforms. I want to acknowledge to all our people in Wewak East Sepik who today too held another similar ceremony in Wewak, the capital of our East Sepik province. I acknowledge Prime Minister. Today you came from Solomon Islands to represent our country and make the case for the Pacific in the tuna industry, and you went to Wewak. A great gesture, paying respect to Grand Chief, architect of our country. We are his legacy. His life defines all of us. And this is why we are all here. Since his passing on the 25th of February 2021, we have been hosting this ceremony to honor, to celebrate, and to remember Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare, the one and only Grand Chief of our country. No one else deserves the title, as no one else in our country can be like him, can live his life, and achieve all that he has achieved. Tonight and this year, this ceremony takes another significance as it falls within the golden jubilee of our nationhood. The journey Grand Chief dreamt of and started in 1968, or even before that, in the Bully Beef Club, now Pangopati, was realized on the 16th of September, 1975. This year, we are not only celebrating, honoring, and showing our gratefulness and appreciation to the life of Grand Chief Somare, but we are also paying greatest respect to his colleagues, especially the leaders from 1968 to 1975. That was a very defining moment. And that is why we are gathering here today. And we will gather on this day every year after this. Because this is a great, powerful story that we must never forget. Today too, we pay special homage to Right Honorable Sir Julius Chen, who on the 30th of January left us to join his brother, two great pillars of our country. But tonight, like every other night since his passing, is dedicated to Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare. So on behalf of our capital city, and on behalf of my family, I want to extend the deepest appreciation, thanks and gratitude to Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare for his life, for his determination, for his vision, his passion, his conviction, and his energy and faith in our people and in our country. In the history of the world, a few people have stood out among the millions and billions to define the destiny of their people and their country, and indeed to define the world. Ours is, of course, Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare, a great chief, a kukurai, from the Muruk Lakes of the East Sepik province. These very few special people have certain attributes that put them apart from the rest of us. They are determined, they are very passionate, they are very resilient, and they are very visionary. All these are attributes and virtues of Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare. But he was more than that. He was a very peaceful, kind person. He was also very smart, and dare I say too, very wise. Over and above all that, he was there for the highest good of our people and our country. And he always put that ahead of his own life and his own kinship. Tonight and every other evening on the 26th of February, as a nation, as a city too, we all must come together and honor him. Honor Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare. His life, as I said, defined all of us. And for all of us to truly appreciate Grand Chief Somare, we have to and must consider the fact that ours is the most diverse nation in the world. To really appreciate him. 1,000 tribes, 860 plus languages, many cultures and traditions. In 1968 to 1975, many political views and ideas too. At independence too, we had some of parts of our country who want to secede. They want to live on their own. We had so many clans too, even thousands of clans, more than the tribes. It takes a genius to get all of us together, to get all the leaders between 1968 to 1975 together, to agree. This is the life we are celebrating. He is an exceptional man. Sometimes we take him for granted. But this type of rare few people who through determination that is able to craft and put such a diverse nation together. It was not easy. Today, we live together as one nation, one country, one people. And sometimes, many times, we get complacent. But think about 1968 to 1975. How Grand Chief was able to bring everybody together, to agree. So this evening I want to remind us of this fine quality in a man, embodied in this person, in our founding father, Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare. He had all his colleagues in Parliament or House of Assembly then, but they all came under this one man who was determined And it is the power of conviction and belief and faith in his vision that compelled and got everybody over the line to agree. 1st December 1973, self-government. 16 September 1975, independence. So this year, as we celebrate the 50 years journey that Grand Chief and his colleagues started 50 years ago, and we look back to the next 50 years, in 2075, let us not forget these very fine virtues and values. These are the values and virtues that started, guided, and motivated Grand Chief and his colleagues in the 80s and in the early 70s to have the determination and conviction, faith in our people, to become independent and to define our own journey and our own destiny. These, I believe, are the most important legacy of Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare that we must recognize, we must celebrate, we must remember, and more importantly, we must continue to emulate. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, gold, copper, oil and gas, coffee and cocoa, fish and timber, all our resources are all very important for nationhood and nation building. But without good vision, values, and virtues, the resources that we have will not be of much use to us. So as we celebrate the architect of our country today, and more importantly, on the 16th of September 2025, let us not forget this key lesson. Without vision, without good virtues, without values to guide us, we can squander all these resources and the opportunity that it offers us. I believe it will be the greatest gift and greatest way to remember on a Grand Chief, if we all subscribe to such values and virtues and strategies. This is why we are celebrating this great man. It is the values that he stood for, what he believed in, what guided him and gave value to him and make him very significant, very successful in bringing this diverse nation together. Today too, on this occasion, we also pay respect, pay homage, and express our deepest appreciation and gratitude to other leaders who together were with Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare in shaping and defining the journey from 1968 to 1975 and to where we are today in our Golden Jubilee year, 50 years on. So at this juncture, I would like to acknowledge some of our leaders of the 68 to 75 era and some immediate post-independence. Of course, we have to start off with Right Honorable Sir Julius Chen. We have just witnessed his testimony. He was like a second lieutenant to Sir Michael Thomas Somare. They put together and crafted the nation of Papua New Guinea to 16 September 1975. I want to also acknowledge the two Johns who are still alive. Yes, Sir Julius Chen was we can say, last man standing, the team from 1968. But we have these two Johns who are still alive, Sir John Caputin and Dr. John Momis. Let us acknowledge two other great leaders like Sir John Gais, Sir Teyabal, Sir Matia Beyui, Sir Palia Malawat, Sir Yambake Okuk, Sir Thomas Kawali, Sir Paul Lapun, Sir Boyamasali, Sir Berry Oloway, Sir Ruben Taureka, Sir Bia Olewale, Sir Peter Luz, a leader in his own right, in his own time, an outstanding leader of our people and our country. Sir Warren Dutton, Sir Donatus Mola, Sir Oala Oala Raroa, Sir Oscar Tamur, I'm not sure this one is a Sir, but I will give him a Sir. Prime Minister, Sir Andrew Wabiria, Honorable Louis Mona, Honorable Sabume Kofikai, Sir Paul Langro, Sir Sinake Giregire, Sir Cecil Abel, Dame Josephine Abacha. Today we remember her too. She's still alive, I believe. Sir Yano Bello, Sir Mackenzie Daugi, Honorable Parua Kuri, Honorable Akepa Miyakwe, Honorable Stephen Tago, Honorable Dennis Young. And I want to conclude by reminding us of our Prime Ministers, whom I have not mentioned. Honorable Pius Ringti, late Sir Rabi Namaliu, late Sir Mekere Morauta. These are leaders of their time, a very special time in the history of our nation and our people, crafting together, putting together the foundation of our state. Many of them had limited education in the formal sense or in our context today, but they were wise leaders. They put together this state, we can say, a very ambitious project to unite 1,000 tribes who have not been living together as one people, as one nation in the past. And thousands of nations to come together and to journey to 50 years is a remarkable achievement. And we are all grateful and express our deepest appreciation. On behalf of our capital city, we offer our deepest respect, deepest gratitude, and appreciation to Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare, to Lady Veronica Somare, to all the leaders who have worked with him and shaped our country, defined our country. Let us this year work hard. Let us inspire our nation. And at the same time, let's celebrate their lives and our golden jubilee this 2025 year, 50 years on. Let us continue the journey that they've started. But importantly, let us lift and transform and make the journey a great journey for our country and for our people. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming this evening to show our highest respect to to the architect of our nation, a man who defined our country and our people. We are all his legacy. We won't be here. I won't be here without Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare. God bless him and his family, and God bless our nation. Thank you very much, and good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together once again for our great governor of the National Capital District, the gateway to Papua New Guinea, Honorable Pawas Pako. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I kindly ask everyone to rise as we observe a minute of silence in remembrance of our late great Grand Chief, Sir Michael Thomas Somare, and our past leaders who dedicated their lives to building this great nation of Papua New Guinea. I just want to let you know that on your seats, you have battery-operated candles. If you can turn the battery on so that we can have that candlelight to remember the late Grand Chief, Great Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now observe a minute of silence in remembrance of Great Grand Chief, the father of this great nation of Papua New Guinea, Sir Michael Thomas Somare, and our great leaders of the past and present. Ladies and gentlemen, your 1 minute of silence now starts immediately. Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You may take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, radio listeners, television viewers across the country, live feeds going out on social media sites across the country and around the world, those who couldn't make it inside the indoor complex, outside on big screens watching this very special event, we now present our third video highlight, which shares invaluable advice from our past leaders to the younger generation who make up 50% of the population of this great country of Papua New Guinea. They are the future of Papua New Guinea.
channel of politics. Ideal lo mila kama pupulong politics on sem. We looking plan the movement, we read plan the. Now someone talk long ba may Papua New Guinea, mon plan long last country, long ground long sabi. Namin tingting sa mga plan lo may mas starting team. Encouraging plan yang lamang on school lo may shooting bell long, biging bell long lihat. Kami sabi plan, ini masih na sa mga online Islam man yan. Kau long man, may misi na ito sa listat na yun na nabi mo ako ba sa tingin.
Over the years, his political style has been both fiercely patriotic for his people as well as pacifying. This follows in the tradition of Sana, a traditional paramount chief among his Karao and Kaupa villages. Back home, they affectionately refer to him as Sana. Sir Michael comes from Karao village in the Murik Lakes at the mouth of the mighty Civic River, but was born to Ludwig Sana and Kambe Somare in Rabaul, East New Britain Province on April 9th, 1936, where his father was stationed.
Our young leaders of tomorrow need advice from our present leaders. They are the future of Papua New Guinea. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, let me invite the PNG Defense Force Platoon Band to perform an item for us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, our leaders have sacrificed to bring us to where we are today. Our current crop of leaders will take us forward and create their own legacies. We just witnessed the Papua New Guinea Defense Force Band. They've been with us since the 16th of September, 1975. Their sacrifices have been just like our leaders' sacrifices. We recognize them for their unwavering service and commitment to our great nation of Papua New Guinea. Ladies and gentlemen, behind every great leader is a family that shares in their triumphs and their sacrifices and their successes. We now invite a family member of the late great-grand chief, Sir Michael Somare, to share a few words on behalf of the Somare family. Let me call upon Arthur Somare to come forward. Let's put our hands together for our family member of the father of this great nation, Arthur Somare.
Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Honourable Governor of the National Capital District, Governor for the Oro Province, Regional Member for Bougainville, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Diplomatic Corps, like this very speaker here, my father has surprised me on many occasions, as he has done so tonight as well. I had the great privilege of having the Honourable Prime Minister, James Marabe, pay a visit to my father's gravesite today. He took the journey this morning from Solomon Islands, arrived in Port Moresby at 10:30. I tracked him on Flight Tracker and flew then at 11 to arrive in Wewak so that he would pay tribute to a mentor of his in Papua New Guinea politics, a man that my father had campaigned for as the leader of the National Alliance at the time, and a man that I'm happy to say allowed me to take my father's bones back to Wewak. Olgeta Greece, Olgeta good plab lo Michael Somare, em lusim lo country blamipla. Time papa blami pundan, one time I wara, me ask him, Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, sorry, Emino, Prime Minister of Law today tasol. He came in 1968. He is one of the last cohorts, as Sir Julius Ilusimipla Nautasol, Mila Karamem Gobek Loples, and he allowed me to do exactly that. I thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, for paying a visit to the East Sepik Province and also to give tribute to the East Sepik people for allowing Sir Michael to serve in office for almost 50 years, 49 in total. I can only imagine how difficult the path to independence would have been. To have so many thousands of different people, over 1,000 tribes, over 1,000 different languages and dialect, and to unite those people together would have been a tremendous challenge for Papua New Guinea. For a few brave men who looked down at the issues of prejudice and colonialism, who stared into the future which was unknown. What would PNG be like 50 years on? Will we remain as one people still? Will we have the fortitude to walk together to stare down development? And 50 years on, those questions still ponder our leaders today. But as some speakers have already said, Michael Somare's greatest achievement, together with his cohort, is not the development today, is the unification of one country under one banner as one people. To wrestle and take on the challenge of being a free and independent nation, to desire that they have a sovereign nation, to desire that we have a constitutional democracy, to have strong laws that our leaders today and our bureaucracy need to continue to uphold, and leadership in all segments of life, not only in politics, not only in bureaucracy, but in churches, in societies, in communities, in villages. Every Papua New Guinean has a calling to bring development for its people, to enable its people to be prosperous, to be healthy, to have education, to have access to health, to have access to better infrastructure. These were the struggles of 1975, some of the struggles we still have today. It is for us, younger people today, to deliver that for Papua New Guinea. If I recall anything from my father's teaching, is be vigilant, work hard, serve your people, so that tomorrow we can live a better life. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, a fitting tribute to his father, Arthur Somare. Let's put our hands together once again for a family member of our great-grand chief and father of his nation, great-grand chief Sir Michael Somare. At this juncture, we present our fourth video highlight, which showcases reflections and tributes to great-grand chief Sir Michael Somare and the father of his great nation of Papua New Guinea from Richard Miles.
Papua New Guinea is the most exotic country in the world. And there is no place in PNG which is richer in colour and culture than the CPIC. It is a land of philosophers and warriors. It is a country made up of rivers and forests, crocodiles and birds of paradise, and it's a place of honour and duty and tradition. And it was here, in Kaurau village, on the banks of the Muric Lakes in the heart of the CPIC, that Michael Somare began his life's journey. He was the son of a police sergeant, but much more significantly, the son of a man who was in an ancient chiefly lineage. And as remarkable as Somare's public career was, equally as important to him throughout his life was being chief to this village and this community, the local custodian of culture, tradition and law. Somare was a teacher. He was a radio announcer, he was a public servant, and then he became a union leader. He established the Pengu Party. And in 1968 was in that first group of Papua New Guineans to be elected to the territory's new House of Assembly. With the election of Whitlam came self-government to PNG, and Somare became the first and only Chief Minister of the territory. And then on the 16th of September in 1975, Michael Somare, Papa Belong Country, father of the nation, became PNG's first Prime Minister. On Independence Day, he said, "Now we must stand on our own 2 feet. We are indeed now masters of our own destiny." And when you look at the videos of the time, you see a Prime Minister still in his 30s, radiating all the vitality and confidence befitting a new and young and hopeful nation. In March of 1980, he lost a vote of no confidence, and Julius Chan became the second Prime Minister of PNG. There were those around him at the time who argued that he should hang on to power, that he should declare a state of emergency. It would have been a path that had been well worn by other leaders in other new countries. But Somare believed that democracy and the Constitution were more important to the future of PNG than his own career. And so he genuinely chose a road less travelled. And in relinquishing power, this might actually be Michael Somare's greatest moment. Because for all its faults and frustrations, PNG today is a vibrant democracy. And that's so important for Papua New Guinea. It's also really important for us. And so in this act, it can be said that Somare is not only the father of independence, but he truly is the father of PNG's democracy. I first visited PNG in 1984 at the age of 16 during Somare's second term as Prime Minister. I was there in 2003 at the beginning of his third term and met him for the first time in 2010 when he was still the Prime Minister. Indeed, in the 46 years of PNG's existence, Somare has been the Prime Minister for 17 of them, and this is all the more incredible given the fluidity of PNG politics. There's a lot of political parties in PNG, and they come and they go. And Somare's record is a testament to his extraordinary personal authority, and it really is hard to comprehend the magnitude of his achievement if seen only in the context of an institutionalised two-party system like our own. You can't do what Somare did without being warm and personable. I was speaking with Sean Dorney last week, the renowned ABC journalist, who said to me that Michael was always so perfectly charming and friendly and courteous to Sean, even when he was deporting him. And I had my own taste of the Somare warmth when I first met him in 2010. As the father of the nation, Somare adorns the 50 kina note. And it occurred to me I'd never met anyone before who was on a banknote, and so I really wanted him to sign one for me. But it turns out that defacing currency is a felony in PNG, just as it is here in Australia. And so I was a little worried I was going to get our relationship off on the wrong foot if my first request to the Prime Minister was in fact for him to commit a crime. It turns out he had no qualms about that at all. In fact, his only concern was when I produced the 50 kina note, he thought it was nowhere near crisp enough for his liking. The following day, I was in a meeting with his son, Arthur, who was also a minister in his government. And at the end of the meeting, Arthur said to me that the Prime Minister wanted me to have a gift, and he unrolled a mint sheet of uncut 50 kina notes, which were therefore not currency and were perfectly legally signed by the Grand Chief in 4 different places. Warm and generous to a T. It is so important that we are acknowledging Michael Somare here today and in this place. Because in the history of the greater Australian jurisdiction, there have only been 2 figures who have led their people to independence. Hamida Robert of Nauru and Michael Somare of Papua New Guinea. And so whilst Somare stands alone as the father of his nation, he also holds a completely unique position in the history of our own. Greatness, in truth, is bestowed on but a rare few. Sir Michael Somare, the Grand Chief, Papa Belong Country, is most certainly one of them.
He just had the perspective of an Australian politician, of our father of the nation, Great-Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare. Richard Miles, Australia and Papua New Guinea have a long relationship. Australia is like a brother to us. But we had Michael Somare in the good old days of fighting for independence, wanted independence with some other great leaders of this great nation. Gough Whitlam had to bow down to accept the demands by our forefathers. And thank you for that perspective from Richard Miles, Australian politician. Next, we have a session of singing. Our friends from Keapara village. Keapara village happens to be the home village of Papua New Guinea's High Commissioner to Australia. He is based in Canberra. His name is John Carley. John Carley comes from this village. They sang Peravada song for us earlier on tonight. Their second presentation is a string band song, a local dialect from their village. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for our villagers from Keapara village. Thank you, kamu kamu. That's thank you in their language. Let's put our hands together once again for our villagers from Keapara. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my great honor and privilege to invite the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Honorable James Marape, to deliver the keynote address for this very important occasion. Let's put our hands together for our Prime Minister, Honorable James Marape.
All right, thank you very much, Memafu Kavera. Thank you for being the host of this program, a wonderful master of ceremonies, a very renowned voice in the public space. I want to appreciate all leaders who have showed up tonight. Thank you, Governor Pakop, for your continued leadership role in making sure our national events in Port Moresby is fitting and appropriate. I just want all of us to give a round of applause to Governor Pakop and his leadership. And I appreciate Governor Jufa and Minister Siamalili, our regional member for Bougainville, for being present in person. And I want to acknowledge all the other leaders who have informed us that in their districts and provinces throughout our country, they do also mobilizing solemn respect for the late great Grand Chief, as well as his peers, his generation of Papua New Guineans who are passing on. I acknowledge all our members of our diplomatic family who are here. They continue to stand with us every moment. Since 1975, or when they've established their missions, they have never failed to be present in significant national moments, and sincerely appreciate each and every one of you who are present here today. You have played your part, and the country is where we are today also with your help, and I just want to appreciate all nations who are represented here this evening. All our heads of government agencies and departments who are here, our commander of the PNG Defense Force, and I want to acknowledge all our citizens who are here, our senior citizens. Sedati represents the class of our senior citizen. Sedati, thank you very much. Thank you, Bada area. Thank you for your presence. We do appreciate your presence. At the personal level, he was a very close friend of Sir Michael. When I came into elected office over 18 years ago, I would see them playing golf, and they were fierce competitors at the golf course, and Sedati still plays golf today. I want to appreciate your presence here, Sedati. And all of us who are present, sincere thank you very much for each and every one of you who are present today. I do acknowledge our leaders from our church fraternity, PNG Council of Church. Thank you for your presence here. And right throughout our country, I acknowledge all citizens who are paying respect and homage to the pillars and founders of our country. I appreciate media who are in broadcasting these events throughout our country. I want to appreciate all of you who are in person here. Thank you to each of you. Thank you, Bada Heria. In the language of the Keapara singers, they would say, thank you, kamu kamu. To each of every one of you who are here today, sincerely appreciate your in person to give respect to the father of our country. It doesn't happen every time. Usually in every nation, there's few standout figures in each nation. For us in Papua New Guinea, you can have no one greater than the late Right Honorable Great-Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare. And I want to say thank you to all of you who are in person here, who have participated, to my children from Caritas. You made my hair rise today when you sang our two songs. And not only the words that came out, I saw you not singing from your lips, but you sang from the inner core of your heart. And I want to appreciate each and every one of you. There's a difference between that. And I want to say to all the children of our country, your number one papa, James Marapel, watches you when you sing. And I can tell a difference, but are you singing from just your lips or from your heart? Tonight I saw my daughters singing from the core of their soul and from their heart. And so thank you to the Caritas staff and faculty who continues to ingrain into our girls good values. And thank you the girls, my daughters, you sang very well tonight. And I could not be more prouder to witness my daughters who are in love with their country and give recognition to those who came before us. And I want to also appreciate PNG Defense Force. I just told your commander that we must put 100-man band for our independence. The best band we've ever had for up to today, we must put it for our independence. So you make our hair rise, and PNG Defense Force, our Royal PNG Constabulary, as well as our correctional services, let's get to work so that this independent, at least you assure all of us that our country is in safe hands in as far as you are concerned, and we are marching on towards the next 50. This evening is a fitting moment for us to recollect. 4 years have gone by. In life, he united this diverse nation. In death, he united still this diverse nation. Wow. There are too few men or women in our planet who can claim this possibility of uniting a nation. Some may have united a nation that speaks only one language, come from one cognitive stock. But this founder of our country united the most diverse nation on the face of planet Earth. Many languages, over 800 of them, all having their own cultural structures, and Somare and his generation rallied the nation together and united us into birth at 16 September 1975. And so as we gather here today, when I went to WeWork this morning, rising up very early, little out of sleep last night, and my brother Somare, Arthur, brother, thank you very much for your presence here. He made mention that, they appreciated the fact that I was up there, but I replied, it is my duty to be here to pay respect to this man. There can be no greater duty for every Papua New Guinean than to pay respect to those who have carved our present state of our country. Somare, his legacy lives on. His sacrifice, his unwavering commitment to Papua New Guinea independence, and not just independence, but his continuous service to our country. I want to say I was privileged enough to have shared parliament with this great man. When our nation was 32 years old, I entered politics in 2007. And the first contact with him, by the way, was when he came to Tari to endorse me as a candidate. He flew into Tari with no close protection. Only one, Puki, was there with him, and two other officials, NA party officials. He came unannounced, and he told people of Tari, I need you to elect this young man into office if you want your Hela province. And rest is history. I arrived into politics then. But it's not about me. I want to make a reference point. In government formation, in Warangoi, 2007, he made a fundamental statement that left a lasting imprint in my public policy outlook. And he recollected the years leading up to 1975, and he stated that in those years, there were many naysayers. There were many who said, we cannot do it. There were many who said, no, it's not possible. How can you do it? But he was persistent, and one of the main points that they were saying that you cannot do it at the time was the very fact that we had less educated Papua New Guineans in 1975. And Sir Michael said, and I'm rephrasing him, he said, in the bosoms of all the mothers of this country are men and women who will be the educated ones running this country into time. Into time. And as he spoke and charged us, members of parliament, by then in 2007, a substantial lot of us had first degree and second degrees. And he said, at 75, we birthed political independence. In 2007, going forward, you must construct economic independence for your country. Now you know where I get my economic independent mantra from. My mentor, my strong support, and his public policy outlook. This is where he charged us in 2007. Sometimes I wish Sir Michael had undisturbed minimum 10 years of public life as our nation was battered into independence. But I am educated this evening when I saw the President, Deputy Prime Minister of Australia, when he said, Sir Michael in 1980 taught all of us an important lesson that leadership is not something for one person. It is a process that sets up leadership, and when the parliamentary process elected Sir Julius, he vacated office, a wonderful lesson at the very early stage of our democracy. Paitim Han Longam. Papua New Guineans, let's not take this for granted. He was very popular. He could have fought on. He could have hung on to power. Or in 1975, he could have constructed a government system that gave him unfettered power for a longer period. But he chose not for himself, but he chose for this diverse nation, fundamental tenets of democracy that must unite our most diverse nation. And I want to, in this moment, as a nation faced 50 years of independence, I want to impress and re-echo his characters to us, today's generation, and children who will come after us, even in politics or public service, that leadership is not about self, but others. It's not about one, but all. It's not about your own personal ego and interests and ambitions, but together what is good for the country. Sir Michael was an epitome of these virtues and characters, and today we look back. I am blessed that I have sat under his feet, and I will try my absolute best to render to this country a better service than what I've been doing the last 6 years. And I ask each and every one of us, you don't need to be a prime minister to render service to your country. You don't need to be a minister of state. We will do our part. But wherever you are stationed in the far lengths and breadths of our country, including Port Moresby, let us too, as we celebrate his 4 years of passing, on the eve of our nation's 50 years of nationhood, let us reflect on his character, his legacies, his virtues, and what he stands for, and submerge ourselves into the type of person we must be if we truly love this country. Sir Julius and every other fathers of our country knew who Sir Michael was. He was bold, he was determined, he was visionary, he was courageous. And I want to say at this juncture, Papua New Guineans, let's not take 1975 for granted. I came out from reading some literatures in Australia, archives and library last week Friday, and I am still reading. There were contests that was at play, but by God's grace, through Sir Michael and his team, they stood the course, they stood the ground, they remained focused. And only 7 years since his ascension into office as member for CPIC in 1975, at the age of 39, he ushered Papua New Guinea into independence. I want to ask us, as we ponder about his role, what is it that we all must do for our country too? At young age, even in the 30s and late 20s, as St. Julius was, they were visionaries, they were focused, they were determined to serve the country, and they worked hard. To the younger Papuans today, as we all ponder about the service that the father of our country and his generation give, I ask us all this question: what is it that you too must give to your country? John F. Kennedy in 1961, the 43rd President of the United States, Ambassador, I may be wrong, but the 43rd President of the United States made a fundamental statement that is now universal. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Hemorrhoida. Today we come out here in PNG uniforms. Our heart bleeds for PNG. We acknowledge Somare and his generation of leaders who worked for our country. Today we must ask ourselves, what is it that we too must do? The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. All of us together must carve out the future for our country. It starts today. The past is locked in the annals and archives of our nation's history. Somare generation played their part. I did once ask, and I said this at St. Julius's funeral programs at Huris, and I'm going to repeat at St. Michael's fourth commemoration program. I sat with the late Anderson Agiru 2 weeks before he passed. In fact, my last conversation with him. And I asked him this question. My brother Arthur knows about the 4.27% that was carved in the PNG LNG for the 5 provinces and the landowners. There was a portion, the 19% that would have been split between Highlands and Southern Highlands was left unsplit. And so I asked Governor then, I asked him, why did you not split it and you left it unsplit? Governor's reply is an all-time classical. He said, some things must be left for the future leaders to do. And I want to say today, some things are left for us to do. What is it that we must do? In the context of our nation facing 50 years, we cannot get back Somare. We cannot get back St. Julius. We cannot get back St. Peter Luce. We cannot get back Sir Cecil Abel. We cannot get back our first Governor General, Sir John Guys. We cannot get back Sir Marukiki. We cannot get back the first leader of Pongo Party, Sir Paul Lapun. We cannot get back, and the list goes on and on and on. They've done their part and they've called to rest according to God. It is now our time. It is not only Prime Minister's business to make what is called PNG Limited work for our future. It is our business collectively. Wherever you are stationed, right throughout the length and breadth of our country, from our 20 provinces, from our nation's capital, and from the special region of Bougainville, wherever you are, men, women, boys, girls, Memore bona kekeni, tamaku bona sinagu, papa na mama, boy na girl, Wanamap yimi stablo country. Somare died 4 years ago, yimi olgada Iwara. This place was the national house cry. Everyone, irrespective of where we came from, came out in total unity and in tears for the great man who laid down his life for our country. What is it that we must continue to honor his legacy? I want to say thank you in my closing remarks to the Somare family. Thank you for giving your father. I want to say thank you to Lady Veronica. Thank you for giving your husband to be the father of this country. Paiti Mandal Somare family. And I speak as Prime Minister, knowing very well that when you're in office, you have little time for your own family. So to the Somare, Arthur, you and your siblings, we have not expressed this earlier. Let me say thank you very much. Because you're part of the family, you don't work, you don't find employment in the public service. You hardly do business as part of being children of the Prime Minister of our country. I say thank you very much to the siblings, your siblings and yourself, Arthur, Pastor Bigla, thank you, Mipla all. Now, Mama is tabiat, Mipla wish him continued long life until big man him yet. He's in on him, you may can look, today you may continue to look sour. Long Bigla walk, Lady Veronica, walk him long, Papa Somare. Paiti Bigla hand of Lady Veronica, please. I'm tabiat. I was privileged 11 days before he passed, he called me to his house at Boroko. We were outside, people are sitting outside, long porch, and he broke the news to me that he had pancreatic cancer. I tried my best, I said, I'll organize for you to be medevac, etc. But he said he's lived his life, he feels he's come to the end of the road, and he has reconciled himself. He's now prepared to let it go. And so after I finished talking with him, and he asked me to go into the living room. And in the living room was his dear soulmate, his wife, his partner of many years, seated also inside the living room. My brother Arthur was with me inside when I had this last conversation. That's why Papua New Guinea, I had to allow him to go back to Wewak, because I was with him when he spoke words, and only myself and Arthur knew about the words that he spoke. And I saw the couple totally committed to each other right till the end. There's some very important lessons. At the 4th anniversary, as a nation faces 50 years, I want to make some fundamental points before I close. Leadership starts at the family. Leadership starts at the family. Don't mount yourself off in public space if you are not a good leader at your family setting. Mary Blee masilan good na stop. Pigini masilan good na stop. Papua New Guinea, to get up, get going, there's no rocket science or magic pill about it. It's at every father of our country today, as we ponder at the passing of the late great Grand Chief of our country. I want every husband, right across the length of our breadth of our country, go back to your wife today and honor your wife at the family of. Somare taught me this before he passed on. I should have left the porch and gone out to my car and drove off. He asked me to go inside and pay respect to also Lady Veronica. The lesson I learned from him in the dying moments of his life are lessons that, for me, I'm privileged to have learned from him, and I want to pass on to us as we commemorate the 4th year of his passing, and in the face of 50 years, as we, our generation, prepare to take this country on. Respecting your wife and having a stable family unit, first thing first, number one. Number two, he was of service all the way till the end, just like St. Julius, serving all the way till the end, even if he's out of office. He had national consciousness on his duty to his country. Few occasions, I would bump into him or he would come to me. And I remember two very clearly. Because of time, I will not go down later on in life. When I write my book, I want you all to pick a copy and read a book and a chapter on Somare, and you will see what I mean. I'll just reflect on two. Sam Mekere's passing, he was there. Myself and Rachel and him sat at the front pew, and he was there. I could see him. He held himself together, said, witness passing of someone who succeeded him, someone he groomed. He came out for duty honoring a prime minister that has fallen. A second moment I want to say was a moment where he came to the U.S. Embassy. And the U.S. Embassy has a steep, you go down, you go down a step, big step, go down. Then you also climb back up. It was on January 28th, the election night of 2020, if I'm not wrong. He was done, and then in the evening he walked up, and it's a big steep climb. It took him almost 10 minutes to get up and eventually into his car. Why am I raising this? Even at very old age, he had a sense of duty to his country, and he participated in significant national moments all the way through till the end. Sabu Sam can make him all Sam. You know me, you start with less long, national significant moments. Me ask him you stop with one up. You got one of not the country again. You sight. One of walk with you. Today, you must ask me a this question as we ponder. In the months leading up to our most important year, there cannot be a greater important year than the independent, the birth year of our nation. I ask each and every one of us right through the length and breadth of our country. If you don't like James Marape, don't dislike Papua New Guinea. You get James Marape out in 2007. Papua New Guinea is bigger than James Marape. The country must live on. The nation must come together. Papa Bloc country teaches us about unity above everything else. Richard Miles spoke on the 1980 experience. I want to close with the 2011 experience. When his government was stolen, Somare dig deep into his inner reserve and told me and those who were with him, let it go, let's forgive, let's heal, let's unite, let's forgive. And he allowed parliamentary process to take precedent, and he just said, sorry, I'm enough. Somare continues to teach us, even at the graves, good values and good character, good pasin, that me like asking him, you must pick any blockade, you must be on him. Like Kisim Slapasin, Los saving country me on into the 50th and beyond the 50th. May his legacy live on, may his story continue to inspire us to the great Sana of the Murik Lakes. You've been truly a wonderful son of your country, a father of your country, a leader of your country. We pray that your soul may continue to rest in peace until Jesus comes, and may we, those who are alive, reflect on his life and inspire ourselves to do better for Papua New Guinea. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Very inspiring, very challenging. Once again, let's put our hands together for the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Honorable James Marape. Ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the close of this evening's commemoration, let us carry forward the wisdom, dedication, and the dreams of our great leaders. On behalf of the organizing committee and the people of Papua New Guinea, Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us tonight, whether it was in your living room, in your village, or wherever you were. Thank you very much for being part of us. May we continue to build a nation worthy of the sacrifices made by those who came before us. Our good Prime Minister has had a very long day today. One cannot fly all the way from Solomon Islands, come here, go to Ewek, and be with us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together once again for our great Prime Minister. A Prime Minister who cares about our people. A Prime Minister who is challenging us. Let's carry the legacy forward. Let's discover our own roots, our own foundations to go forward. Take this land of 1,000 tribes forward to a greater 50 years ahead of us. The big occasion will be on the 16th of September 2025, when we celebrate 50 years of our independence as a sovereign nation. It is our golden jubilee. The Prime Minister will be taking his leave very shortly. For those of you who have been here this evening, who accepted our invitation to come here and attend this very important occasion to remember our father of this nation, great Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare, we thank you. We thank you once again for joining us. The Prime Minister will be taking his leave very shortly. For those of you who have been invited, we have refreshments at the back for you to enjoy. But let us all put our hands together for each and every one of us here this evening at the Sir John Guy's Indoor Complex, and those of us who heard us on radio and also on television stations right across the country and also globally on social media platforms. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you for supporting Papua New Guinea. Thank you for remembering the legacy of the father of our great nation of Papua New Guinea, Great Grand Chief Michael Thomas Somare.
Was adopted. By that I mean that it was through this process of parliamentary system we adopt the constitution of Papua New Guinea. And it is very important for all of us. As I am going out, making my way out, I had the privilege of serving people of Papua New Guinea as a member for ECP since they elected me in 1968. I've not missed one. And I want to say this, and I want this one to go on the record, to former clerks of parliament, former speakers of parliament, parliamentary whips, councils, fellow members of parliament, and parliamentary staff. The beloved Papua New Guinea, here in our parliament and elsewhere in our land and overseas. Today, I stand here as an optimistic Papua New Guinean, proud of many accomplishments as a nation. We progress through many waves and changes in the world. We survived our own bad decisions. We have united at times when the world thought it was not possible to do so. We must be thankful, and we must always count our blessings.